Welcome back, everybody, to the Teen Titans retrospective. We're going through every episode of the original Teen Titans show. Finally back on track with the main plot of this season revolving around Cyborg. So let's get into it. This is Season 3, Episode 8, Wavelength, written by Tom Pugsley and Greg Klein, directed by Ben Jones. So Aqualad shows up at the Titans Tower. That's right, Aqualad is back this episode. And he lets them know that Brother Blood has been building this supervillain secret base in the ocean, and it's disrupting the wildlife, it's messing with the environment, and Aqualad is not into that. So yes, that's right, we're dealing with Brother Blood again, which means this is a Cyborg-focused episode. We're back to the Brother Blood plot that is sort of the main overarching plot for this season. For some reason, this season's main overarching plot is only over the course of 4 episodes, where every other main plot line has at least 5, which I think is a little bit disappointing, because I do like Cyborg and I like a lot of this stuff here. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, this season is a little light on main overarching plot things. Anyways, Titans jump into action. They travel with Aqualad in the T-Sub and various other swimming methods. Also, Aqualad mentions that there is a secret double agent working within Brother Blood's hive to try to disrupt things from the inside. But anyways, the Titans arrive at the secret base and they start sneaking around and are trying to stop this secret base from existing, basically. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to mention, Brother Blood had stolen some of Cyborg's technology and he's using it to power this base, and all of the various robotic squids and other things going on here are all powered by Cyborg's technology, which Brother Blood stole from Cyborg when he was trying to sneak into the hive and infiltrate their whole organization that we saw earlier in the season in Deception. Having trouble with my brain forming thoughts this episode for some reason. Okay, so Cyborg is taking this mission very personally, since he feels partly responsible for what Brother Blood is doing, and also just he feels kind of violated by Brother Blood, who took his technology that's a part of him and is using it for evil. So Cyborg's trying to stop Brother Blood and from doing his thing, and he comes across Bumblebee. This is a character who had a brief cameo in the background of Deception earlier on in the season, but otherwise this is kind of her main introduction. She's one of Brother Blood's students, and Cyborg is aware of her and seems to be somewhat familiar with her. They do, I think, mention that they never had any classes together when they were both at Hive Academy, so he's aware of her but doesn't know her that well, and they have a fight. Bumblebee has pretty much all of the exact same powers as Marvel's the Wasp. Bumblebee was created in the comics almost a whole decade after the Wasp, so Wasp was the originator, but I don't really care. This happens from time to time. Sometimes you have characters with similar abilities in both Marvel and DC. It happens. Bumblebee is somewhat significant for being one of the first female black superheroes in DC Comics, so that's cool. And I like her design a lot here. In a shocking twist of fate, the one female black character on this show is not voiced by Cree Summer. I know, I can hardly believe it. I guess she was busy being in every other animated series. Bumblebee is instead voiced by, and forgive my pronunciation here, Takia Crystal Kima? Something like that. Hope that was at least close. But she does a really good job here. I like her performance. I think she's a good job. So Bumblebee and Cyborg have this fight. They have a fun sort of back and forth banter. Eventually Bumblebee knocks out the security cameras, and then she's like, okay, now we can talk plainly. And Cyborg's like, what? And she's like, yeah, I'm the double agent. She's been gathering intel and helping Aqualad to formulate a plan to take out Brother Blood and defeat the Hive. Which I think is a fun reveal, because when you meet a character named Bumblebee who is working with an organization called the Hive, and they have like a lot of yellow and black motifs already. It seems like she should fit right in, which is, you know, what the bad guys thought. Almost kind of like hiding in plain sight. Her gimmick happened to work well with the Hive's already established aesthetic, so it's sort of a like fun twist to have her switch sides. It's also kind of fun because it means that back in Deception, the first episode with this plotline, there were multiple people within the Hive who were secretly double agents trying to take down the organization from within.
Was anyone at my school actually there to learn?
So now Cyborg and Bumblebee have to work together to take down this base and try to defeat Brother Blood. And as I said, they have a pretty fun dynamic. They don't really get along at first, they have a bit of a rivalry, but of course they have to learn to work together and set aside their differences. And Bumblebee ends up sort of earning Cyborg's respect by stealing back the blueprints of Cyborg. They don't quite get to the level of like playing up any romantic tension in this episode, but there's definitely like a vibe, kind of. Or at the very least, they end up making a good partnership. And we don't get to see Cyborg like interacting with and like having someone that's like an equal to him outside of the main Teen Titans team. So it's fun to see Cyborg like in his own element a little bit more and like interacting with other people that have the same amount of investment in defeating the specific villain they're dealing with. Because Cyborg has kind of claimed Brother Blood as one of his main villains, and Bumblebee's been trying to take down Brother Blood even longer than Cyborg has. So they're both like invested in what's going on. And it's kind of cool to see Cyborg like come into his own a little bit more and have almost his own side adventures outside of the main Titans team, although they're all also there helping out. Eventually they have a bit of a fight with Brother Blood. Blood ends up getting away, but they do end up defeating and destroying this evil Hive base thing. The episode ends with Bumblebee and Aqualad going off to pursue Brother Blood, but Cyborg ending up staying behind with the Titans because they have another villain in another part of the city who's like robbing a bank or whatever. But there's a moment of hesitation, and you can tell that Cyborg kind of wants to go off with these newer friends of his who are more invested in this specific villain who has like a personal vendetta with Cyborg, but he still feels obligated to be with the main Titans team. We'll see more of where this goes with the two-part finale of this season, but we're kind of basically setting up that Cyborg maybe has other stuff that he wants to be doing outside of just being with the main Teen Titans. And this episode also does a lot to like build out the world a lot more of the show. There's other Teen Titans outside of the main core cast who we're now seeing a little more often, and we see that they also have their own adventures going on. But that's basically it for this episode. It's mostly a plot-driven episode, and we're setting up some stuff that's going to become much more important in the finale of this arc. But in terms of like character stuff, there's not a crazy amount of depth going on here. Unlike Deception, which had like a lot of like really interesting interpersonal like thematic stuff with Cyborg as a character, this one is more plot heavy and more like we gotta fight the bad guys, which is totally fine. I'm okay with that. But again, it does a lot of good world building, which will come more into play later on in the season. And we get proper introduction to Bumblebee, who will become another major recurring character throughout the show. And she's fun and cool. I like her. I think she has a cool and interesting dynamic with Cyborg. It's part of the reason that I've never really got the like Cyborg and Jinx ships, because like 5 minutes later, Cyborg gets not exactly like a love interest, at least not initially, but like a cool female friend he gets to like hang out with and go on adventures with, who is like not a villain. So like that seems like the obvious ship to me. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. And then like later on in the show, Jinx ends up with another guy who we haven't met yet. So like, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, good episode. Again, more plot driven, so not a whole lot of like deep thematic things that there is to analyze, but fun action, cool characters. I like that we're building up the Titans cast more, and we're setting up stuff that'll become more important later on. So I like it. Good episode. But that's it for this week. Thank you so much as always, for watching. If you like this, please consider subscribing, and check out the other Titans videos that we've done, going through every episode of the original series, Teen Titans, week by week, episode by episode. So, see you next week with another one. Bye-bye.